Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs, the series where we take a look at some of the latest and not so latest Easter eggs in video games, with the only rule being they cannot have been featured on my channel before. In today's video, we discover some strange looking cows in Wreckfest, we hit the movie reference jackpot in Huntdown, and we find a very strange weapon in Chivalry 2. As always, if you think you know of an Easter egg that I'm yet to cover, then the best places to let me know are in the comment section or on my social media accounts, the links to which are in the description. Oh, and leaving a like on any of my videos always makes me that little bit happier. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. So let's begin with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Now, unlike Modern Warfare, the new maps added to Cold War rarely contain any Easter eggs, which is a shame, as I love the excitement of trying to find the often awesome Easter eggs in the new Modern Warfare maps. It's not all doom and gloom though. There is one Easter egg that can be found on one of the new Cold War maps. On the Diesel map, you can find this. So these cacti each have a different coloured ribbon tied round them. From left to right, we can see purple, orange, blue and red ribbons, and if you haven't guessed it already, this is a reference to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, as I said, Easter eggs in the new Cold War maps are few and far between, so if you think you know of any more, then I'd love to hear them. Now, the only reason I'm featuring this next Easter egg is because my son Freddie asked me to. He's been playing a lot of Stickman Party, which is basically a collection of minigames for up to 4 players. Last week, he came running into my office claiming he'd found an Easter egg. Well, the Easter egg that he had so proudly found can be seen when playing the Sea Battle minigame. So in the top left corner, you can clearly see what appears to be a pineapple under the sea, which is of course best known as the home of SpongeBob SquarePants. To be honest, I am really proud of him for finding this Easter egg on his own. Perhaps we have a young Easter egg hunter in the making. So back in episode 42 of this series, we discovered a reference to Pennywise in Mr. Hop's Playhouse. But today's Easter egg from the demo for Mr. Hop's Playhouse 2 is perhaps even creepier. Very early on in the demo, you're invited to play hide and seek with a couple of other children. Fortunately for you, the pair aren't the best at hiding and can be found relatively quickly. For example, Isaac can be found on the 2nd floor of the library. Well, if you knock over the vase that Isaac is hiding behind and head to the other side of the library, you can find this. I'm not sure who this face belongs to, I'm guessing it's one of the devs, but I'd bet that any face shaped like an egg is pretty unsettling. Next up is a game that, at the time of recording this video, isn't even released yet. Chivalry 2 is the follow-up to the hugely popular Chivalry, and once again sees players taking part in large battles where arms, legs, and sometimes even heads can be used as weapons. Now, the original Chivalry is known for having some really cool Easter eggs, and judging by the short time that I've spent with the beta, Chivalry 2 may be no different. On the Battle of Wardenglade map, you can find this.
Only 20 Mason troops remain. We are down to 10 troops left. We have only 30 troops left.
So I think this is a ram skull, but I could be wrong, so I'm trusting you guys to correct me in the comments. What really matters is it makes one hell of a weapon, dealing massive damage to anyone unlucky enough to get in its way. Now, by the time this video is uploaded, Chivalry 2 should be released, so I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled to see what other secrets the game has tucked away. Next up is Huntdown. Now, despite its 2D visuals, Huntdown oozes 80s style. And it's not just the style of the 80s that Huntdown pays homage to. It also references a ton of classic 80s movies. First up, on level 1-3, you can find this.
I'm about to blow your mind. Beautiful!
Secret found. Psst.
So this helpful fellow is Snake Plissken from the 1981 sci-fi thriller Escape from New York. Next up, during level 2-2, you can find this.
Secret found.
Playing zero.
So this is a reference to one of my favourite films of all time, the Arnold Schwarzenegger action classic, Running Man.
Here is Sub-Zero! Now, Plane Zero!
Next up, in level 3-4, you can find this.
Secret found.
So this adorable little guy is Gizmo from the 1984 movie Gremlins. The final movie reference from Huntdown is of course another nod to an 80s classic. On level 4-4, you can find this.
Secret found.
Like tears in the rain.
So this is of course a reference to this iconic scene from Blade Runner.
Like tears in rain.
Now, there could be more of these references found in Huntdown. These are, after all I've found so far, so if you think you know of any more, then please let me know. So State of Decay 2 has featured in this series a couple of times before, most recently with the discovery of a red balloon in a sewer as a reference to it. Well, today's Easter egg is a little more subtle, but it does reference another great zombie game. At the biker base on Providence Ridge, you can find this sign. It reads, "All bikes were sent to Oregon, so don't ask." This is a reference to Days Gone, which was set in Oregon and of course featured bikes as the main way people get around. So the final game for today's video is Wreckfest. Now, with many years of Easter egg hunting experience, one thing I've learned is that racing games aren't usually the best places to find Easter eggs. Wreckfest changes that with its strange obsession with cows. The first cow Easter egg can be found on the Eagles Peak Motor Park and requires you to head out of bounds. To do this, you need to squeeze through a very small gap. So use the most compact vehicle you have. After you've done that, take a right and follow the track around until you find this. Yup, it's cows with Tommy guns. I mean, what more do you want me to say? The final Easter egg for today's video once again involves cows. On the new playground track, if you head to the northernmost area, you can find a pathway blocked by logs. Well, with a little manoeuvring, you can bypass those logs to find this. So the cows seem to have ditched the guns and taken up gardening. Oh, and in the tunnel leading to this area, you can also find various markings which seem to indicate there is some sort of cow cult on the loose, which I find utterly ridiculous. So that's it. As mentioned, if you know of any Easter eggs that I'm yet to cover, then the best places to let me know are in the comments section or on my social media accounts. The links, as always, are in the description. Remember, if you are a fan of Easter egg secrets and tiny details in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.